What if Zelda had an amazing cinematic story? What if Last of Us had incredible, skill-based combat? What if Uncharted somehow put all the violence in context? What if Dark Souls was approachable and clear? The answer to all of these questions is that they're really fucking dumb. And God of War is, it's a good game. It's good. Dumb tweets aside, God of War 4, or God of War without the 4 but is still God of War 4 for the PS4, is the new hot Sony exclusive, which finally means...
Oh, look at that, you have a friend.
So God of War has been having praise rain down on it, receiving tons of high and perfect scores, so I guess that means I have to hate it. But I don't. I like it. Granted, when I play it, I don't feel like Jesus burst through my door, told me the secret herbs and spices of KFC, and also gave me a soft beach while I played it, like most journalists will lead you to believe, but I have been enjoying it. This video might get redundant because I'll kind of keep circling back to the fact that it's a good game. Good. So God of War used to be about blood, gods, and banging women, but unfortunately one of those leads to this. So Mr. Antihero is now a Papa-chan again, so all you little mongoloids who get off to regurgitating daddy to anyone and everyone who is either older than you or you look up to in the slightest due to your own glaring neglection from a parental figure, rejoice! You'll get your fill of big ol' Kratos yelling boy nonstop, cause boy does he say boy a lot in this game. Boy. Let's jump into that because obviously as a video game we need to focus on the cinematic aspects of it. The game is in fact quite cinematic, and I do think it's a pretty neat storytelling and immersion tool to have one continuous shot as this game has. It does keep it feeling more like a game rather than a movie. However, the drawback of not having more regular cutscenes is you get to skip jack shit. So if you like being forced to take a break from the action, walk slowly and listen to characters jabber on, you're in luck! Fortunately, the story is pretty interesting outside of I miss mom shit or haha, this dwarf said fuck, what an interesting character. Plus it can give you some time to admire the environments, which are absolutely stunning. Honestly, God of War might be one of, if not the best looking game I've played. It's a bit of a double-edged sword that they do the whole father-child trope. It gets pretty cliche at points, and most dialogue boils down to, hey dad, let's do thing!
Shut up, boy.
Hey dad, what's thing?
I don't know.
Followed by Kratos starting combos with boy, do thing, and either yes sir or I did like how they will tell stories in the boat, and if you disembark, they have a transition along the lines of, well, we'll continue it on the boat, and when you return, it's followed by a, so you were saying? I expected the kid to be annoying as fuck, but he's surprisingly tame compared to most kid partners that follow you in these types of games. But it does get tiring hearing him shout, "You're on fire!" in battle when I'm engulfed in flames. Huh. Didn't notice. Cinematics aside, what about the gameplay? Surely it's just another Last of Us glorified movie with that description. There's no way they can capture the crazy style of gameplay the previous God of War games had with that shoulder look. Well, you're right. However, it's still pretty entertaining. The game is fairly difficult. I played through most of it on hard, but had to duck down a peg a few areas since I wanted to try and finish this game quick enough to make a video about it while it's still relevant since I'm not cool enough for early copies. I was actually kind of relieved the game didn't go pure open world. You kind of build the world around you as you progress. There's side quests and places to explore, but the game's a little linear. It gave me the freedom I enjoy without resorting to a large, empty world. There is shit to do around every corner, or you can just keep trucking through the story. The combat is actually a lot more fun than I thought. When I first saw the game, I was thinking like, oh, what? So it's Horizon Zero Dawn, but with more focus on melee combat? And, well, I mean, it sort of is, but that's actually kind of entertaining. The first part of the game can actually be kind of tedious since most enemies you can just cheese by axing them a question, but once you level up a few times and unlock skills that allow Kratos to be like, wait, what if I attacked when I runned? Then you get a lot more variety in fights and, well, fun. I'll never understand why games do that. I can see locking away big combos, but don't lock away base attacks of combat behind grinding. Allow weak versions of them and then hide the power-ups and combo strings behind grind. Once I did unlock some options to string stuff together, combat became much more enjoyable. The game is still pretty hack and slashy, but it's easy to get overwhelmed if you do nothing but attack and dodge. Dealing damage and deciding whether or not to build up stun to do some style moves was a great choice to add some spice to the slice. I honestly loved fighting most things, and whenever the game presented me with one, I went for it. The camera, whereas it is a cool cinematic tool, can be kind of dumb in battles, as you'll be unable to see your foes, especially compared to previous titles. You do have a little danger bar, but even that can be obscured sometimes. You're also accompanied by a plot-armored Shota, who basically throughout the fight, enemies ignore outside of a... Stop it! Which causes him to be unable to attack for like 2 seconds. I feel like developers either need to find a way to make companions vulnerable without feeling like an escort mission, or just stop falling for that fucking hook, because unkillable children is just weird. I want kids to get hurt. Let them know that life is pain. However, even if the combat is fun, it isn't groundbreaking or revolutionary. A lot of things were simplified too. Skills are now on cooldowns because apparently magic meters are too hard to handle, and there's almost zero weapon variety. You get your fist, axe, and... Plus, since people are apparently too dumb, you have the colored loot system to tell you what's good instead of being able to just look at the stats and decide. The puzzles are all a joke. It's basically just throw axe from an angle, or look around and hit things in a short period of time. Platforming is gone and replaced with that disgusting painted on climb here walls. Why do devs think this is cool? Who thought let's have a player hold the direction for a minute with zero threats was fun and immersive gameplay? I am so sick of games doing that. Either don't have climbing or have it be something like Breath of the Wild. It just makes it that much more jarring when you see a small stone but you can't hop over it because it doesn't have a splash of paint on it. And of course the little boy latches on you like a fucking facehugger since he's just moved to your back from his position. Yeah. Another aspect of gameplay would be the boss battles. They were... alright. They don't really compare to the other God of War games. Most boss fights are just souped up regular baddies. You fight trolls or whatever for every mini-boss essentially, and even the big boys were just pretty basic. There were a lot of repeats, and like I said, they weren't bad, but just not new? It's not too pressing though, since there is good enemy variety in this game. Those flaws shouldn't be enough to scare you off. Like I said, God of War 4 for PS4 is a good game. It does a bit to WoW, and it doesn't really bring anything new, but it does bring some pretty solid elements. It's weird that a good game can't just be a good game nowadays. You're either paid to promote something as more than it is, or you hate it for what it isn't, or because it's popular. So no score or whatever. God of War's a good game. You should give it a try if you got a PS4. I mean, what else are you gonna play on it anyway?